For the 2x1 start, push all your needles in the front and the back bed to working position, and we are going to take the 2x1 comb and push the low butts out of work in the front as well as the back bed. Our sample size is going to be 40 needles wide, so 20 needles to the left of 0 and 20 needles to the right of 0. Now when the low butts are pushed out of work and I push the high butts in, you can see that there are 2 needles from the front and 2 needles from the back, and they do not intersect. This will not allow me to cast on. To be able to cast on, I need to have alternating needles from the front bed, front bed, back bed. I can't have 2 needles from the front with no needles on the back bed in between them. To allow the needles to intersect between the front and the back beds, I am going to rack my bed to position number 2. So initially when we did our first sample, the all needle start or the start with the comb, our beds were racked on position 1. I'm going to take the lever and now rack the bed to position 2. As I rack this, notice how the back bed position moves. So bring the prong between the 2 holes and make sure you bring these prongs on either side, insert them in so that the lever doesn't move as you are knitting. I've got yarn threaded in carrier number 1 in your yarn carrier, and then just take your carriage across. You can see how the stitches are similar to the diagram. Hang your comb and the weights. Flip your alternate cams so that you're now doing a tubular row. Open your cams and rack your bed back to 1. This is the 2x1 start. Stop. Knit back and forth for a 2x1 rib for about 10 rows. Knit 2 rows in an alternate color and then change back to your original color, knit 1 or 2 rows, and now do a variation of the 2x1 rib. So to do a variation, you need a double eye needle or a bodkin. What design you create is totally up to you, but create a pattern. So let's say I want a 3x3 rib. I'm going to push I'm going to transfer the stitches from the front to the back, or in some cases stitches from the back to the front, whatever design you want to do. So to transfer, I'm just hooking the eye of the needle with the hook, pull the hook out, the stitch comes in my bodkin. I'm just going to slide the stitch and transfer it to an empty needle on the back bed. Push the empty needle on the front bed out of work. So whatever pattern you want to create, that's totally fine. I'm going to try another one. So let's say I want to transfer this to the back. So hook the eye with the hook, pull, So the stitch goes behind the latch, then push it back. Stitch is now in my bodkin. Slide it to the front. You can transfer it to an empty needle or to a needle that already has a stitch, whatever your pattern you're trying to create. So hook it with the hook, pull it out, and transfer the stitch over.